All right. What's going on, YouTube? Start this after chat. I'm going to call it after chat just because it Delaware Patriots chat got me. All right. What's going on, folks? I'm late. All right. Hey, we got Quasar, Delaware Patriot, Rooster. What's going on? I'm late. How am I late? I just had some thought. Hey, Delaware, what's going on? Thought you were going to, I don't know. I thought you were going somewhere. What's up, Midas? How's it going? Hey, thanks for checking in. Hey, this is probably going to be but Delaware Patriots chat got me thinking um, about some things that he was talking about, and people were talking about in the side chat, and the title kind of discusses some of that. But Delaware was talking about the militia and talking about forming groups, and West Wind Survival had some good points that he made about all that, and talking about some various things with what they were doing. To get groups together and what up, and that was all good stuff. But I think the problem, our minds, our mind, and the Western thinkers that we are, our problem is we try to solve the problem before we take action. We have to take action, and then the problem will work itself out. We can't think that we're going to be able to um, fix it all before we take action. You know what I'm saying? I think that's part of our problem with our not only our schooling but our mindset that a lot of people are in is they want to know what the outcome is going to be before they even get started. Um, and That was some of the stuff going back and forth in the side chat about joining militias, not joining militia. The bottom line is we got to get away from centralized government, decentralize things, decentralize power, take actions into your own hands, and a lot of those things have to do with prepping and forming groups. But it is also having that independent mind to take action in the absence of all other opportunities. I think, and that's what kind of spurred my idea. Just wanted to throw that out there because I wasn't able to say it all in the side chat, of course. But people had their various takes on groups and everything. The bottom line is you got to take action. It doesn't matter what you think of groups or what you think of this. You have to take action. You might take action in your own way and in your own little area, like the one guy on the chat. He's a gunsmithing learning, and that's what he can do. You do what you can. You don't try to do what you think is going to solve the problem. Just take action to attack the problem, to go after it, if that makes sense. Um, so I would say that, especially if you go back and look at Delaware Patriots chat and read the side chat, some troll in there, but other than that, it was a lot of discussion back and forth about what to do. Well, it doesn't matter. Just do it. Like Wayne says, one of the most effective things you can do, Wayne was talking about, was getting out of debt and doing the things to fight back against the man, because the man is really the central banks, and the central banks live off debt. So we all have our own problems and exposure to that, and we know what our own problems are. We can only attack what we can. We can't solve the problem of debt, but we can attack it. Um, so that is what it is. Um, but people need to stop trying to. How are we going to take down the central government? How are we going to reverse course? I don't know, but we have to take action. We have to do the things that lead up to that. There's got to be building blocks. We don't know. I mean, it's never been done before, right? We're in uncharted territory, so we can only do small steps to make things decentralized, make your lives decentralized, and detach yourself from the control mechanisms in all those things. And then maybe in the future, at some point down the road, hopefully the solution will present itself potentially. But we do know that there are certain things that we can do to help problem solve, if you will, in the future. And the actions of the individual are the problems that help solve the things. And there's all kinds of little things that go around that, not only individual actions, but actions in your community that go into that. but I won't get too in depth here. You've all heard a lot of those before. But let me see who else we got checking in here. I saw a lot of names flying by. Thanks for checking in. Hopefully you saw Delaware's chat. Midas is on the edge of his seat. Do you even have a seat where you are as Midas? Have you unpacked yet? Do you have furniture? M Long, what's going on? When's the next boat race? It's dark as night where Quasar is in the Midwest, right? Hey, Walter Davis, good evening. Is that you, Walter? Why do you not have a picture icon? What happened to your picture? Your icon is just a blue outline. Usually that's different. Delaware Patriot checking out the school stuff. Did they buy good stuff? Did you approve? Nobody wants to fire the first shot. Right, Rooster? Right. And that just goes to, like somebody was talking about in the chat, they made the Bundy reference, of course. That's always like everybody's pointing to. The thing is, nobody knew that was going to happen, right? It just kind of developed that way. Nobody knew that was going to happen the way it played out. You just got to put yourself in the position to be in the right position, or what you consider the honorable and moral just position at the right time. You can't predict the way things are going to play out. Just like the guys that went to Lexington and Concord probably had no idea that was going to play out like that. But they had put themselves in position over years, and like we talked about in the chat, the militia in 1773, 4, and 5 was a disaster. They ran from the field continuously, multiple occasions. Lexington Concord was a anomaly for the militia. But it was them that was the militia that got everything started. So putting yourself in a position and place through just training and preparedness, and individual thought is what caused all those dominoes to fall, right? So continue to do those things. Don't think that you're going to solve the problem so far ahead. Oh, this is how we're going to take down the central government. This is how we're going to take down the central bank. Well, no, you're not going to know that. And nobody wants to be the bad guy, right? Either, Rooster. You don't want to be wrong in the eyes of history or in your own what's that thing inside you? Some people have a conscience, I don't. that conscience thing inside people, right? Yeah, people won't have a good, clear conscience going forward after the fact. Roger Wilco, how you doing? You're not late at all. You were probably early. Hey, Farkas, what's going on? The Farkas. Hope you're doing good. I haven't seen you. I did. Man. You see, comment on Salvate's chats every now and then, or his videos. Asymmetrical preparedness. How you doing? Debt free is the way to be, no doubt. It creates so many opportunities for you. It keeps you out of trouble, right? It is still light. Very much light. Very much light here, Mountain Man. How's it going? Yep, dark out that way, I'm sure. Barry Wood, hey, good evening. Haven't seen you in a while. How you doing, Barry? It's been a while up there. Can America be number 110, please? What does that mean, Rooster? I don't understand the connotation. Getting a real sheriff is a start. Yeah, Walter, having a real sheriff in your county is very important. Backing your sheriff when they need to be backed. That's all part of it as well. Taking the small steps, doing what you can, right? And maybe those dominoes will fall in your local area. But if you're not preparing that ahead of time, it doesn't make much difference when the times comes and they crumble and fall, right? Hey, Toxic, how you doing? Mule Team, what's up? I've been meaning to message you, Mule Team. I'm going to ask, are we going to do one last Green Dragon to end the hangout season? Since the hangout sessions are going away, we got to do one last dragon, right? At least that would be the hope, right? At least one more go around on there. Supposedly they might be switching to another platform, but I don't know. We could just wrap it up anyway. Hey, ZPD, what's going on? You have people camping on private property to deal with? Refugees from Flint. That bad, huh? Hey, no problem, ZPD. Good to see you. Thanks for hanging in. Hopefully they're not camping on your private property. Next ride, is that your next boat race, M-Long, September? You missed the beard. Fargus is just, it's the way I roll. I don't know. Some years is different years than others. I don't know. We'll see if it grows back out here or not. It is kind of warm this time of year. A little warm for the beard, but you know, Midas, you're still sleeping on a cot. Need to buy a bed. Yeah, you haven't unpacked yet, huh? Still got lots of settling in to do, I guess. Walter's on your tablet, so it gives you that icon when you're not on your phone. That's kind of weird. Rooster, you left the Delaware chat before you saw what happened. Oh, no, not like anything happened. Just the discussion in the side chat. It's kind of what I'm talking about. Kind of focusing on a little bit. Just people always trying to continually find the solutions when we've got the steps to take to form an attack, and just get after it. It's kind of what I'm getting after. Which has been said before, I guess. Go out and do it. But don't think you're going to know what the outcome is going to be ahead of time. That's my real thing. Get over not knowing. We did. I did that video in response to, was it Quasar or it was right after Bundy, and we were talking about the mental thing and getting over the fear factor to go forward and do the things that were necessary. I'll have to go back and rewatch that video to see if it was kind of on the same train of thought, because I think it kind of was. People getting over it to go forward and do the things, The left already had a shot, says asymmetrical. Just not a gunshot. Hey, Prep in Life, what's going on? I saw you. I haven't commented back. I saw you comment on one of the videos earlier. How's things going? That's Johnny, right? You got 2 channels now, Johnny, messing me up. We'll always be watching out for the Jeep things, but it's cool to have 2 channels, I guess. I never could commit to taking the time to mess with 2 channels. It's too much for me. Hey, what's going on, Stefan? EP tried to suicide in Manhattan jail. What's EP? Who was in Manhattan jail? I'm not familiar with who you're talking about. Walter says ZPD should ride through the camp on his dirt bike. Mule team's just going to shoot and loot. Hey, Rooster, have a good night. We'll see you later. Thanks for dropping by. Missed the morning chats. I'm going to have to get back. The morning chats is mostly to do with the sun time. I think once the sun, rotation finishes up and starts getting darker later, or light later in the morning, I'll probably start the morning chats back up a little bit. We'll see. So, September, October, we might roll out another morning chat. It's just too cool in the morning now to that's when to get things done. Watering trees and stuff like that. And just relax a little bit out of the heat. Kind of like right now, it's like the only time to relax and out of the heat. Hey, Mountain Man, yeah, the bacon on the hoof is doing fine. We got a lot of it. You want some, Mountain Man? Come pick you up a hog, Mountain Man. He'll be here waiting for you. Midwest Prepper, not a chat without you, right? Matt, your calendar idea, I like that, Midwest. You gotta copyright that. Delaware Patriot was talking about changing his name though to the High Desert Patriot. I'm like, no, there's only room for one HDP. You got to change that. We'll see if he moves or not, how that works out. Hey, C103, what's going on? Good evening. Thanks for the thumbs up. Hey, Saint, good evening. How you doing? Prep and stack hard, right, Saint? No, Delaware, I think Midwest missed your chat. I didn't see him in there. Of course, he could always be lurking. You never know it. Neil says, I don't think big things are going to light off till after Trump 2020. Well, does it really matter? Like you're saying, Neil, it doesn't really matter. Just do your thing. Do the things you know are necessary and needed now. That if they do, he'll be ready, right? Hey, West Wind, we're on your way home from the beer run. What's up? That's always a good plan, West Wayne. Midwest had to work till 10. Slave drivers. Goodness. That's pretty rough. Yeah, they say they're getting rid of Hangouts, I guess. But there's rumor has they're going to replace it with a new chat program of some sort that's a Google proprietary of some sort. I guess whenever Hangouts was developed, however it was developed, they didn't like it, so they're trying to replace it. Whatever. But either way, we need to do another Green Dragon sometime. Double run beer run. Midwest, you get paid Friday and it's already gone. Well, you're probably one of those jobs Midwest where you're just paid a flat amount. Doesn't matter how many hours you work, is it? You just get paid one way or the other. You get the job done in 80 hours or 60. You're getting paid the same, right? Toxic says, how do we do Hangouts? In the future, Toxic, I don't know. Rumor is they're going to have something new, but I haven't heard or seen anything exactly. Midwest, you're going to watch the Law Area tonight. Finish tomorrow morning. What? Law Area? I'm not sure what you're referring to. I liked your video, Midwest, talking about the city and how knowing whether they're in a bad area or not, at least in Cincinnati. Stay away from payday loan places. Is that right, Mountain Man? Yeah, we got the birds over here. The missus is moving around all the turkeys and youngins, so they're making a racket. So yeah, your dog probably is hearing that, huh? Quite the racket for this time of night. They should be bedding down by now. You're gonna watch the Delaware Law Area tonight? Oh, the Delaware chat, right? Okay. Quasar, the dude was literally saying be a lone wolf. You talking about the dude on the side chat there, Quasar, in Delaware's chat? What's it say about good men who stand by and do nothing? Yeah, that applies. Right, Delaware? Yeah, don't stand by and do nothing just because you don't know the answers. Because doing nothing also, what's that saying? Those on the edge of victory, while tired, sat down to rest and died. Something like that, some old Greek proverb or something like that. Sitting on the plains of victory, there they sat and rested, and while resting died, or something like that, is an old Greek proverb of some sort. Machete, don't do morning time, says Quasar. Yeah, Toxic. Yeah, I know, Alicia. I miss the morning chats too, really. When it comes to current events, that was really good times to get into the real current event stuff. But I don't know, we'll come back around. Just got to keep the stuff going if we make it through this election season. That doesn't drive us crazy. But the biggest thing, like I was talking about in that last chat, is the economic stuff. I'm telling people, all this other stuff's a distraction. Saint says, will Silver take a short reprieve before the end of the year? Are you saying that Silver will retrace itself, Saint, for a little bit before the end of the year? I don't know. I don't know that we can predict such things. But going off of the last video too, talking about the economic side, gas was down around here again today. It's down over a nickel. When's the last time gas went down a nickel in the middle of July? Yeah, I don't know that it ever has. That doesn't happen normally. It doesn't happen in a robust economy. It doesn't happen when people are traveling, making trips all summer and driving. Um, but silver, Saint, it's just we're in one of those things that I haven't, you know, seen enough of silver to know what it would do if it's forming a bull market. If it pops above 17 here by Halloween or so, you might be off to the races after that. I don't know that it's going to go back to 15 ever. When we got back above 15, whenever it went back above 15 last month or whatever, I texted my friend. I'm like, this is probably the last time in our lifetimes that we ever see $15 an ounce silver. And it got back down. It bumped up and it back down right to like 1504 before it like took off again. So maybe I was right. Quasar bought another eagle. Right. Stefan, how's the yellow vest going? There was some serious video. There was a nice fluffy hit piece article the other day that's making the rounds here in America about how the police are overworked and underappreciated in the midst of these continuous protests. Those birds probably are driving everybody's dogs crazy. They're pretty loud. But yeah, Stefan, everybody is feeling sorry for the police state over here. I think they know more about the police work in the protests than they do about the yellow vest protest as a whole. There was an article or something about the ECB lowering their interest rates, going to the negative interest rates, stuff like that coming up. Just like tomorrow is the big day for our Fed to make its announcement, I believe. Quasar asks how many peeps are ready to make silver out of their medicine. Making medicine out of silver, Quasar asks. Right? Get the band back together for one last go. That's what I'm talking about, Mule. Hey, Landon Land. What's up, Chris? How's it going? You recovered from that cruise yet? I still didn't get an after action. Like, is that the cruise to take? Like, was it everything you thought it was be? Was it a good deal? Like, I want to get all the inside scoop. Was it what you thought it would be, or would you never pay for it again? All right, later, Alicia. Fireworks sounds like fun. Walter Davis Trap Rock has been around for a long time. Just likes to argue. That's the guy who was in Delaware's chat, right? I didn't recognize him. Trap Rock. Was he part of the chat window warriors back in the day, Walter? Those chat window warrior guys were always arguing it up. No matter what you were talking about, they'd take the opposite side just to argue. Mountains Man says in Video Manager, click on live streaming, then click the word events. In the upper right corner, there's a button marked live events. That's the replacement for Hangouts. Can you invite people into a panel though, Mountain Man? Can you bring other people in to talk with you and be on a panel like you could? Okay. If that's their plan, I guess. House of Cards indeed, Midas. Midwest news is silent all of a sudden on the Iranians stealing that ship. Right, Midwest? When was the last time an oil tanker was captured in the Strait of Hormuz and gas prices went down? Oil went down. Matter of fact, oil went down like $1 the other day, and there was more oil drawn out of the oil reserves than the previous month or whatever. Like, there was a draw on oil, which means there's less in storage, but the price still went down. Just doesn't make no sense. The whole economic information is just not making sense. It doesn't add up. It's all fabricated, says Delaware. Yeah, they're definitely sounding off, aren't they, Midas? And they're a good 30 yards away. They're just youngins too. No, those are turkeys. I think most of them are turkeys. Might be a few chickens mixed in. I think most of them are turkeys. And a whole slew of turkeys we hatched. home hatched. West Wind says Iran's going to attack us even if we have to attack ourselves. That would be, that's probably the fact right there, right, West Wind? Yeah, in full effect, to distract everybody from all the other economic realities and everything else going on. I mean, with this Brexit deal going down, if Boris Johnson doesn't get JFK'd and Brexit actually happens, like, all bets are off. The EU is done. The EU will cease to exist because Germany can't keep them afloat on their own. Germany's the only thing keeping that economy going. Daryl Norda, what's going on? White kid beat to death in Detroit. Right? Yeah, it happens more than you think, probably. Stan Oates dropping a link. What are you linking us to, Stan? How's it going up in the Great White North? Or the Great Hot North right now? You're probably having that heat wave just like everybody else back east. Right, Chris? That'd be cool to see your hear some overall thoughts, especially about the comparison of the cruise line versus others. What do you thought about the cruise line itself? But that silent disco thing was pretty hilarious. Stand. Trump is getting us into defensive posture, says Walter, but not going offensive with Iran. Midas, you missed your rooster and ducks. You can probably pick up ducks and everything pretty simple out there, rooster. Midas. Probably get a hold of ducks, no problem. JP Morgan talking about the dollar ending. Yes, good point, West Wind. There was an article just today, I think it was. It was today or yesterday. JP Morgan talking about the dollar ending as the reserve currency of the world. It's not like they can send any better signals, right? They will always tell you what they're going to do in plain language. You just got to pay attention. Stefan says the Queen needs new gas oil for her brand new Phantom. Is that a car, Stefan? Huh. Is that was it was in the video, Stan, the Blues Brothers? Yeah, Walter. I mean, they're all together here. They're all grown here, so whatever diseases they have is going to be all internal on the farm. They're not from outside sources. Like I said, we hatched all these here, so they're not from outside birds or nothing like that. Hey, Miss B. Stacy, how's it going? How's the business? Hope you're doing good down there. It's been hot. I saw there was some flash flooding down there in Vegas today, I believe. Sergeant Bohr, how you doing? Look, I saw you in Delaware's chat. Thanks for dropping by. The Royal Navy not be able to protect shipping lanes, right? Well, that's what they have America for, right? That's what they've been using America for 50 years. Yeah, the Brit Navy's pretty thin compared to 1750. Things have changed quite a bit. You got another heat wave coming, Stan, right? I didn't know it was going to get more hot out there. All right, Asymmetrical, you have a good night. Yeah, get home. You should be home already. Why are you watching this and not going home? You should be watching from the comfort of your home, if nothing else. Don't let us hold you up at all. Have a good evening. That's racist, right? Right, Delaware? Yeah, somebody posted on Twitter. It was racist to have a white dog now, right? And I was like, oh snap! I got a white dog. I got a white pig. I got white goats, sheep. I got white geese. Like, how much? Like, off the racism scale, we're like so far racist. It's not even funny. Don't even talk about my kids. Mountain Man says he's been using that format for a while. He posts the event link on a video on the channel. And owner clicks the link and joins. Okay. All right, Mountain Man. Well, I guess we'll have to start figuring that out. Transitioning. Dan Aykroyd was Canadian, by the way, says Stan. Good one. That's true. Yeah, Dan Aykroyd and, well, who was the guys on A Strange Brew? Who did the skit on Saturday Night Live? Was it Danny Carvey? Danny Carvey's not Canadian, is he? But the best Canadian ever, Stan, is Steve Eiserman. He's the only Canadian who's ever worth anything. So. All right. Asymmetrical preparedness is out. EU needs to crumble, no doubt. It needs to. Which article are you talking about, Miss B. Stacy? I'm not sure what article you're speaking of. Not Area 51, right? Yeah, you're not going to Area 51, are you, Stacy? U.S. dollar is the largest world reserve. It's about 63% of the world reserve currency. Yeah, the dollar. The biggest thing people need to understand with the reserve issue of the dollar is it'll create hyperinflation because all those dollars will rush back to America that are floating around in other governments in other countries. The business is going hard, Stacy. It's all worth it though in the end, right? Hey, War Drums Network, what's going on? We got to commit to Mule to doing another Green Dragon just so you keep your schedule open. Let's get it done. Sunday night? Do we go on Sunday night or are we going Thursday night? That's what we need to figure out. Daryl says Royal Navy dispatched a carrier with no planes on it. That's pretty sad. Sergeant Bohr, Bretton Woods Agreement sees nearly all international transactions, right? Oh, wreck. Accident averted. Careful. Yeah, Bretton Woods. Not only will we lose it, but the additional cash that gets pushed back to America that's not useful elsewhere makes the dollar less and less valuable, plus there's more of it. Dang, Roger, I missed your comment there. Stefan says paper, fiat, dollar, vault, nothing. Silver or gold eagles, says Stefan. Those are always the best, right? M. Long's got freckles to protect you. Martin Short, Stan, is that who was in there? Is that who was in that skit? Martin Short? Cauliflower is racist. Right, Mountain Man? Oh no, we're going to talk about Canadians. John Candy was Canadian, huh? If you like white bread, you may be racist. Right? But John Candy was on our side in Canadian bacon, right? There you go. Daryl says the BRICS nations are dumping the dollar hard. Yeah, indeed. The BRICS have been setting up for a long time, setting up their own banking and other options, exchanging in other currencies and exchanging in gold and silver. India and China in particular have been buying gold, as is their tradition, but also to set up the move as well. It's been a long-standing 10-year process plus. Rooster always orders white bread. Right? Okay. If you have to. Delaware says people just confuse and think the U.S. dollar is reserve currency across the board. Don't realize that's not the case. Right, right. It's just the biggest dog on the block, which is a huge dog, especially when it comes to oil. But all that could be changing. Irish USMC, what's going on? I'm way behind in the side chat, ain't I? Irish USMC in the house, what's up? Hey, I'm not too far behind, I guess. Just seems like it. You guys are chatting it up. Jay Ufum, what's going on? Good evening. Thanks for checking in. M. Long is a freckled Kentuckian. Uh-oh, Midwest. Here we go. Midwest says the real conspiracy here is Nestle sold Butterfinger and Nestle Crunch, and they've changed the recipe for both. What? Who'd they sell them to? That's like blasphemy. You can't change Butterfinger's recipe. Oh, man. Who did they sell to? Did they sell to, well, they didn't sell to Hershey's. They sell some, I'm trying to think of another overseas candy manufacturer, but I can't think of who it is off the top of my head. There's Nestle and somebody else. They put fingers on our Butterfinger recipe, right? Yep, terrible. Every empire that loses world reserve is co-opted by another system for a time for the banks to move their money. Yeah, we just got to get in the banks, you know what I'm saying? War drums wants white meat on the barbecue, right? Well, that's not a problem. It's true, says Midwest. Yeah, that I hate to lose Butterfinger like that. It's going out. It's pretty hard, right? Poco Loco, what's going on? What's up? Long time no see. Well, you've put a couple videos out this year, Poco Loco. It's been good. You went for a couple years with not even any videos out. I hope you're doing good. Yeah, Delaware Snickers is always a go-to, right? Nestle sold something. They're usually buying everything, says Stan, right? Oreos moved to Mexico, said Midwest. Really? Chris checked out, I think. Oreos moving to Mexico. You can't be eating no more Oreos, Chris. You got to get away from that. That J.U. from same person who came up with the idea to change Coke's recipe. That was, speaking of Coke's recipe, that's funny you bring that up, J.U. from, and that show Stranger Things, which is kind of a phenomenon that's going around. So in the last year, they had a scene where the kid's drinking a new Coke can, and everybody's looking at him all strange, and the kids didn't get it. They're like, "What's new Coke?" And I had to explain to them the whole debacle of Coke changing the recipe, getting shot down because it sucked, and everybody going back to what they call classic Coke, right? So that was funny. I see something like that on a TV show and having to explain to the kids about the whole situation of Coke's bad idea. Yep, must up Butterfingers for Bart. It's terrible. Nestle's on food and less on candy. Is that right, Midwest? Well, the Nestle's really focusing on water. That's been the real scam, like that Michigan deal, getting the water out of Michigan. Midas doesn't do candy bars anymore, but loves cereal. Come on now, Midas. You gotta have a good Snickers bar every now and then, really? Especially when cold, keep it in the freezer for a little bit. Money. Pepsi Clear, yuck. Right, Poco? Everybody made some mistake at some time, right? Yeah, Clear Pepsi, that was a debacle too, right? Stranger Things is Westwind's childhood all rolled into one. Yeah, it's got a lot of flashbacks to it, especially, I mean, even between the music and everything else, it's like, yeah, it's a serious flashback. That's right. Not quite the same age. I was like in 8th grade, 7th grade when that show's time frame is in. Hostess bought Butterfinger, says Stan. Okay. But Hostess stopped making ho-hos, right? Or Twinkies? Is they still making Twinkies? Wasn't it a couple years ago the Twinkie apocalypse was upon us? Like the only food that would survive the apocalypse is going away. Did they ever reverse that decision or what? Savage Survival's with us. What's going on? Preferred beef jerky over all candy. It's got more protein, that's for sure. Better for you. Poco Loco says all that processed food is just population control. Oh, great. West Wind bringing in. Is that West S disguised as West Wind Survival? Preferring long pork? It's got to be West S incognito. Yeah, Delaware. Stranger Things is a pretty good show. It's got. I just watch it for the nostalgia. I mean, the storyline is okay, I guess. It's decent. It's not terrible, but the old school social references and music and everything is really the only reason to watch it. Ferrero chocolate says Midwest. Nestle is selling all its U.S. to Italian chocolate maker Ferrero. Said on Tuesday, $2.8 billion. If I could have just saved up, I could have bought it. Yeah, the water situation with Nestle Savage is a long, ongoing, on-running thing. New Coke was a cover-up, says Midwest. What were they covering up? Bringing in aliens? Tasty Kate's butter. Oh goodness. Hey, Roger Wilco, Twinkies. Rumor has it Jerry Nader ate a case of Twinkies after a hearing today. Oh, is that right? West Wind. West Wind, to continue on his discussion, he's going to set a smartphone in the street during SHTF as a bait. So smartphone's going to be bait to get his long pork. West Wind is Wes S's son. There you go. That's the greatest conspiracy. There you go. Yeah, Area 51 stand. Probably not going to storm it. We were talking about going and just watching the sideshow to see if anybody actually showed up. I was talking to Bikes and Bullets and Tony and some others. Be like, we could just go tailgate and watch the sideshow. Watch everybody from a distance, get a good observation point, and see how it went down, and record it for posterity. Of course, we got to share it with all you guys, right? But it would be interesting to go. I got to do a whole video on that because I got to do a whole video dedicated to, Area 51 is a bad thing. We need to know what's going on and other issues because it is Nevada land. It's not federal land. It's never been properly ceded to the federal government, just like some of the other issues with property rights. That's my issue with Area 51. Not so much the aliens, but they shouldn't be there to begin with. They just basically squatted on it long enough to use it, and then they dropped bombs on it, and nobody really debated them about it. And then, it's just like squatter rights is pretty much how they do it. And the federal government doesn't get squatter rights, but here we are. Yeah, Mountain Man, I'm with you, Mountain Man. Cannibalism is something I'm strictly against. It's not very biblical, right? But West Wind and West S keep bringing that subject up way too often. I got to question them and their agenda. Oh, Midwest has knowledge on New Coke. Hey, Uncle Al, what's going up? Welcome, Die Bullfrog. How's it going, Uncle Al? Hope you're doing well. Staying out of the heat. It's been hot over here, so I know it's been hot where you are, I'm sure. Sell water to the Area 51 crowd. That's going to be the biggest thing, Long. I was talking about that the first night we heard about it. That first chat we did, kind of discussing it, is the biggest problem with the Area 51 crowd is going to be heat exhaustion. People are going to be passing out there, no water, no shade, because people aren't going to realize what they're getting into. You're going to have all these city kids and people from other countries. I mean, you're going to the desert, but they just don't realize it might be September, but it's going to be hot, and it's going to be no shade, and you're just going to be out there, and it's just dry as a bone. And then they're going to try to hike around in it, to do whatever. Yeah, they better bring a bag, pack a bag deep. But I think you have more heat casualties than you will from anything else. Part of West Wind's survival strategy. Walter wants to know if they still make Tab, or did everyone who drank it die of cancer? You know what, Walter? I think they still make Tab, because I think the last time I was at home, I think they still sell it at, I think it was Harris Teeter and what was the other grocery store, but I think Tab is still sold in the South. I think it may be a regional thing now, but I'm pretty sure I saw Tab last time I was home. Uncle Al says a tip for next month, 114. Uh-oh, write down your scroll key card, 114. I'm not sure what that stands for. Maybe that's a grid latitude and longitude. I don't know what that means, Uncle Al, but I'll write it down, 114. Or is that $114 for an ounce of silver? Is that what that means? Is that the tip? Buy silver, it's going to $114? Yeah, you never know. Zima says, there'll be no Zima in the chat, Midas. Redneck Prepper, how you doing? Good evening. Coke is anti-gun. Aren't they all anti-gun, Redneck Prepper? I mean, pretty much every corporation is anti-American as you can get, right? They are not on our side at all. Okay, Midwest, here he comes. Here it is. Here's the knowledge drop from Midwest. They wanted to switch from sugar to high fructose corn syrup. The change was detectable. They made new Coke bad on purpose until all old Coke was gone. Then marketing had people. So they made the new Coke just bad enough with HCFS. Then when they brought back classic Coke, they didn't have sugar in it, but it was still palatable compared to the new Coke. Is that what you're saying, Midwest? That's a reasonable strategy. But everybody else switched to HFCS too, though. Everybody else, I remember when they changed the formula for Mountain Dew, it was like the formula for Mountain Dew changed like 95, like sometime in that time frame, because you could tell when they took the orange juice out of it and they used HFCS, and it was like, garbage. Or is it Pepsi? Coke or Pepsi, right? Fanta's still around, yep. It's true, Stefan, it's true. Everything is anti-gun, says West Wind. Hey, CO103, have a good night. We'll see you later. West Wind, you want air horns? That'd be funny. Or just to be able to use some, see if anybody scatters. Man, you guys are hard to keep up with here. How far behind am I? Okay, there we go. Caught up. Hey, Roger, have a good night. We'll see you later. Pepsi still has that? I think it's always been like that, hasn't it, Delaware? Sergeant Boris says some idiot was reviewing BF Goodrich. BF Goodrich got the guy fired after he was... Oh, that was pretty cool. That's a good story. Getting fired for being a moron. Yeah, Jay Ufam, straight up, right? You can't change the Mountain Dew. The Mountain Dew was definitely a tragedy. 88 Mark, how's it going? Good evening. Yeah, I think that's more likely the outcome, 88 Mark. You won't. People are talking about getting shot. No, I don't think anybody's gonna get shot. They'll break out some of the high-tech riot control stuff and disperse the mob with that. Maybe use it as a test run. LRADs all lined up, right? LRADs, lots of pepper spray, CS, um, all that stuff. In the heat, you get CS on you in the heat like that, it'll be miserable. It'll dissipate quicker, but if you once you get it on you, it's just because your pores are open, you're sweating, you get that stuff inside your pores, and you're just it hurts so much worse. That's what you do when you're doing training. They get you to build up a sweat. They have you fight and go through hand-to-hand combat and stuff before they spray you, so that those pores, you really get a good dose of it. Because when it's cold and you're enclosed like that, it's not quite as bad. But you figure you're gonna have more exposed skin, wearing less clothing and everything, unless people are really prepared. But we'll see how that works out. Yeah, right, Westwind. CS is great in the heat. Exactly. Exactly. It's great. Walter Davis says he guesses the Chinese or others are pushing the Area 51 to see what we have. Is that right? You think so? I think the Chinese and Russians. Well, they were talking about it too. The Russians can overfly Area 51 regularly, and they do it regularly. Mountain Man hates skunks. Freshly shaving and go in the gas chamber, right, Delaware? That's pretty good. Daryl says, please go watch in video, share. We might. I don't know. We'll see if anybody. I mean, it would have to take. I would want to see a pretty good sized crowd before I went down there. Like we'd have to get 5,000 or 10,000 people that were, you knew were in the area. Like you get news reports of large crowds gathering. Then I might make the trip. I mean, that's a 6-hour drive to sit in the desert and be miserable as well with them. But we're talking about it. Me and Bikes, and I talked to Lord Humongous there. He's in Vegas, so Iridium 242's down there. So I don't know. We could just have a big YouTube rally alone would be a good time, but we could have it a lot more comfortably elsewhere other than sitting outside Area 51 waiting for them idiots to come through. All right. Well, it's getting the witching hour here, folks. It's going to close down dark on me here pretty quick. We'll have to punch out, roll out. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for the chat. Make sure you go check out Delaware's chat if you didn't earlier this evening. It was a good one. And the beginning comments on this were kind of focused on that chat and what he was talking about and the side chat and everybody. And I just wanted to get my thoughts out that I couldn't put down in the side chat, kind of going off of the title of the this chat. So Saint says, bag your phone or they will own it the minute you get close. Saying they already own my phone, you know that. Midas, let me know if you ever come up here. All right. Yeah, I haven't been to Montana in years. I went to Yellowstone way back in the day, but I don't get up that way very often. You have a good one, everybody. Thanks for checking in. West Wind. Carrie Bruce, hey, thanks for coming in. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for letting us know you're here. Good to see you, Carrie. Carry on. All right, Mark. Carrying on. Have a good night, everybody. You guys enjoy. Prep hard, live free.